Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to Around the Cut with the host and co-hosts. We have Get Rich, Armani, and I'm Orion. So let's just get into the finals first because I want to say everybody expected the Lakers to handle business because you got two top five players on the court with the Lakers, and they didn't disappoint. LeBron takes home his fourth Finals MVP. Anthony Davis gets his first ring. How y'all feeling about that?
Feeling great.
Great.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic, bro.
I'm not surprised, but
What were your takeaways from the finals? Like, was there any? Because for me, there wasn't really anything. Was there anything for you guys that like changed? Did anything change for you during the finals? That's my question.
Nah, I feel like
uh,
I don't know. I feel like the Lakers are gonna be the best team in the whole league, the whole year. Honestly,
I think it's more so that
I mean, yeah, I feel it's gonna hit five. Danny Green missed the wide open three. People try to come at Bron for that, but I feel like overall though, exactly what I expected though. Set the Bron to chop, set the AD to chop. KCP was stepping up. Playoff Rondo was a thing, so it's like everything I expected to happen happened. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy played hard. If they had Bam, fully healthy, and Dragic could have been a little bit more competitive, but like since those games were out, you kind of saw they were missing. You saw Bam wasn't the same, but everything I expected, honestly.
I mean, you're talking about Bam being not the same, bro. I didn't really see any like any difference in like how he played. He didn't show to me an injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you watching a player, sometimes you could see it, they're hurt. It wasn't really noticeable that Bam was hurt to me when he was playing.
I don't know. I was like maybe all those bunnies he was missing. And sometimes he didn't look like he really wanted to pack the basket. So I don't know if if his shoulder bothered him or whatever. But I don't know. You're right though. Maybe it was just it was just a moment for him. I don't know.
Could be that. But what I want to talk about with I don't want to be a downer, but since we're on the Lakers already, I'm about to bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up on my screen. Let's talk about their off season. What should they do in the off season? Who should they keep? Who would you like them to bring in?
Honestly, bro. I mean, man, you can start it off if you want. To be honest, because it's a lot of moves that they do got to make though. It's not going to be the same team next year. So
I feel like this is how I take it. I think now that they want a chip, like they have a chip under their belt, I think moves are more like they can be made now. I feel like there's no like thinking about it. Like if you want to pull the trigger, you can. I feel because you won the chip already. I think last year and this year especially, they were kind of like holding back and like trying to say like, okay, we rather pick somebody up from waiver than trading. See if we can buy somebody off the market, whatever, and just pick them up from there instead of trading. I think now, if things, because now they already want a chip, so expectations are through the roof. So it's either championship or bust. So like if they're not winning during the season or playing at the level they are accustomed to playing or should play, then I think they are like, okay, we can pull a trigger. But I think based off what I see in the playoffs, I think if Kuz don't like take the next step,
I'm done with that man, Monty.
he's done.
Kuzma, I'm done with him. I'm done
I
with
think
him.
he's done. I think I like Caruso, but I think he might be in a package deal. I don't know. And there's a lot of 1 year deals, so I think they'll probably sign Carando back, KCP, but I think they need shooters. Like, they definitely need to get a knockdown shooter because that was what they were lacking. They had a lot of like guys that were just missing this finals run. So
I'm looking at their payroll. So for this upcoming season, they're gonna have obviously LeBron and AD, Danny Green 15 mil,
Nasty works.
KCP, Avery Bradley, JaVale McGee, Quinn Cook, Caruso, Kuzma, Taylor Horton Tucker, and Rondo has a player option. So Rondo, if he opts in to the Lakers contract, he's gonna get 2.6 mil.
Him and KCP
Opt out. He opted out already?
Him and KCP already opted out. But I feel like the Lakers, like, the thing with Rondo, I feel like they really do want to bring him back, but also, like, I feel like they're also going to maybe try to get CP. So if they get CP, it kind of like they're not going to bring back Rondo. But it's like everything's moving fast paced. But like if I was the Lakers, re-signing KCP, I'm re-signing Dwight. JaVale can go though. I'm trying to trade Kuz. I'm trying to trade Danny Green and get them out of here. Because Danny Green, that 15 M's it's robbery. Let's just call it what it is. This is robbery.
I don't think it's realistic. Danny Green.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's no contract that's not tradable in the league, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like I feel like somebody can take up Danny Green. He's still a vet. You know, he's still a defender, 3-time champ. I feel like he can find a home somewhere. You package him with Kuz and maybe like a first rounder or something. I feel like maybe you can get somebody in return for that, depending on the player.
Yeah, it all depends on the deal.
Yeah, it all depends on the deal. But like, I don't know. I feel like they definitely need another ball handler though to back up. I feel like they need another wing defender off the bench too. Let's get him valuable minutes. Especially if they trade Kuz, like they're gonna have nobody really back up Bron to like give them valuable minutes. And also, I forgot they need to re-sign Markieff Morris. My son definitely deserves this spot next year. Definitely earned his spot.
Yeah, I think they might have to come out the pocket for him though, because he made 1.7 mil.
Yeah.
This season that just ended, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna want more than that.
Yeah, but they'll probably sign him to a smooth 1-year deal. Let me run it back, see what the vibe is. But nah, they definitely should though. I think they definitely would though. He was a good player down the stretch for him and Caruso.
True. So now that you said that, with the 1-year deals, that's basically the same what they did last year to ensure the championship. Sign a handful of players on 1-year deals. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like they should do the 1-year deal thing again with a lot of players.
It gives you flexibility.
Yeah.
I think even
looking like.
Even their stars are not going to sign long-term deals. I think it'll just be he probably sign a 2-3-year deal, maybe.
Bron will be doing that though. I feel
flexibility in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Anthony Davis, he opted out of his contract too. He was supposed to make 28.7. He's gonna get more than that.
He's not gonna get more than that. But like the Lakers, this is a great run, and this is really without Avery Bradley. That's a great perimeter defender, great 3-point shooter too. Well, not great, but very solid 3-point shooter. So
solid play.
Man, it's good. They did what they have to do, man. My son Bron 4-4-4, man.
I think like the dynamic of last year, like how everything was like all bad news for the Lakers. You know, like they're in the storylines like every other day, and it was not like good news coming out of that. You know, that media and all that. So I think this year them winning the chip kind of like helps them, because I think guys would be more like, okay, they're more situated. They got Bron there, AD. You know, if I want to come to a place where I just master my role, then we can win chips. I think last year they didn't really have an identity. This year they found their identity, so it's much easier.
I feel like guys are also gonna be willing to sign there for them, you know, for a nice vet min. Like I'm saying, they wanted a backup forward, right? Or backup playing. You know, my son Gallo, you saw he said he wants to play for a contender. You know, you never know what Gallo's going to do. He might want to tie to LA. You know, back up Bron, see what they got to do. But I feel like it's gonna be easier to get players to come through already. I feel like even last year it wasn't hard, especially when you had like Bron and AD together. That dynamic was ready. Like I don't want to go play with them. But I feel like now it's even gonna be easier to get guys to pull up, role players to pull up, veterans to pull up. You know, Bron love playing with veterans, so I feel like they're in a good position. But I feel they're in a great position for next year again.
They are in a good position because, like I said before, most of the team is coming back next season. So all they have to do is fill in a few missing pieces here and there, and they should be essentially the same team.
As long as they keep their defense, like the way they was playing defense, if they don't change the identity, I think you had a couple more shooters, guys that can take the pressure off Braun, like when he comes out can handle the ball, then I think they should be in good position. You know,
That's a fact, man.
So how realistic do you think it is to trade for Chris Paul?
I, I don't know, bro. Cause like it's kind of like, is he gonna come on that same contract, right? He's obviously not going to restructure that shit, right? It's like, what exactly would OKC accept for that? Because they're gonna want obviously maybe some young talent or some picks, but like, I don't know. I don't know how realistic it would really be for them to truly trade for CP. I think it'd be easier if he's just bought out and they can just sign for him. But trading for him, I don't really see how that would really work out.
would you want him though?
Yeah, I would definitely want CP. You saw us at CP balling this year? Could you imagine CP at LeBron? Like
Like,
I would definitely take CP.
I think it will work out, but I'm just saying, like, the price has to be right.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the trade pack would really look like if you really traded for CP3. You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't want to mess up that team like too much.
So I'm gonna tell you off rip who's not coming back next season. So I would be surprised if J.R. Smith and Waiters came back. I'll be surprised because this free agent market, there's going to be a lot of players who are looking to sign to the Lakers. So those two spots that they just filled up with JR and Dion, I don't really know if they're going to be available.
I feel like Boogie might take one of these spots too. Because honestly, Boogie left on a good note. He was hurt. Might bring him back. They can dub DeVille, swap him with Boogie. I feel like that can be an alternative too, though.
And then you got Jared Dudley. He's not coming back.
My son might be up and out of here. He did his part. My son was the coach on the bench right there.
Definitely.
You know, like that's a spot though that can be ran though.
So that's 3 spots off rip. And there's I don't see if Giannis's brother, his
name, right?
Nah, I see his name, but there's no money tied to him, bro.
Oh.
There's no salary.
I
don't know what's going on with him.
What happened with
bring him back though?
Avery Bradley's contract? Like, how is that looking?
Gonna be making $5 million next season. Yeah, $5 million.
Honestly, like with him, I think they obviously won the chip, right? But I feel like if they had him, like, I don't know, I think it would just be OP. Like, I think he would take like the best ball handler and just like
up to another level, Monty, bro. That's another thing.
The whole offensive thing, like the conversation we having now, we wouldn't have the same conversation.
We wouldn't. Avery is a key player that's coming back next year, so people like disregarding like not a key player like in aspect like he's 20 a night, but the role that he plays on the team is so consistent and so solid that he's gonna do his job every night, and he's gonna do exactly what you need him to do. I feel like him and Caruso next year, that's a nice, 1-2 defensive guard bunch off the bench, for real. Because Caruso really turned up this year and got better throughout the whole year. Never really thought I'd be saying that, like, for real.
And I think, like,
solid role player.
You know how some shooters had their struggles?
Mm-hmm.
I think he would probably fill that void. I think more shooters I'd say he would make more shots than you get from Danny Green or whatever. He was struggling. I think he would have definitely knocked down some shots, and the rotations would have been definitely different. I think he would be closing the game out.
Definitely. He would definitely be on the floor to close the game out. Definitely. Wow, overall, I think the Lakers are in a good position, man. For real. To get this chip in the first year, Bonnet, AD together, Vogel, basically that whole coaching staff. It's great. They're really setting themselves up to, like, who knows? They can really go back to back next year. For real. Depending on the moves they make. Depending on how Braun comes back and looks next year. Could be back to back. But, that's another conversation, when we get there. I want to get ahead of myself.
So let's talk about the other LA team once again. Do you guys think Ty Lue was a good choice for a head coach?
Start that off, Monty. Or whatever you.
I don't think it was a good choice.
I agree.
Because of the fact that I mean, I think it's just the vibe. I don't think it fits, bro. Obviously, he was the assistant coach and everything, but he was only there for 1 year, right?
Yeah.
He was only there for 1 year as an assistant coach. He didn't really establish anything there.
He was there during that whole meltdown too. Yeah. I guess his voice wasn't really that much in the fucking huddle. Shit.
And I think the problem with them is it's Kawhi, bro.
They got some beef, bro. I feel like they got some beef in that org fake, bro. Like,
I think it's Kawhi because what is Ty Lue really gonna do regarding getting the team to rally behind somebody? Because Kawhi's not gonna be like, "Yo, guys, let's go. Listen to coach." He's not gonna say that. Like, I don't see it.
Ty also don't got a good rep without Bron either. Did he get fired like the first half of the year, the first year that Bron was out? Did he have like the worst record in the league or something like that? Like, he hasn't really, like, done much to prove like he's really that great of a coach on his own. You feel me? It's not like you have one of the greatest players ever. So, like, you know, Bron gonna make you look good regardless. So you gotta do your part. But like, he hasn't proven himself to be, like you said, that guy's gonna come in the organization and like hold everybody accountable. I feel like they had like an identity problem. Like at the end of the day, like they didn't really know who they were. Like the way Doc was saying, like he kind of like let Kawhi and PG do their own thing, and like the other niggas wasn't fucking with it. So it's like, is Tyler really got a voice that's gonna come in and be like, nah, like that's a dub. Like y'all all gotta be as one. Like I'm putting everybody accountable on the same standard. Like I don't know. I feel like they need somebody outside of that organization to come in to do it instead of just hiring the house.
I feel like they should have. I don't know if they looked into it or not, but I would have looked into Brett Brown.
Mm-hmm.
One, because he was in San Antonio when Kawhi was there. So there's that tie right there to the star player. He already is familiar with him. And two, I feel like he didn't have the right deck of cards in Philly to really do something because I'm not going to say every year. I'm not going to give him an excuse. But this last season, firing him wasn't justified. When your starting point guard, your all-star point guard, is injured before the playoffs start, Joel Embiid comes. Is he in shape? Is he out of shape? That's always going to be a question. That's just how it is. And nobody else on Philly really did anything to show that they're like a guy that they can rely on in the playoffs. Everybody else was just there. It was just Joel Embiid scoring most of the time, and Celtics just ran them off the court. I can't blame them on the coach. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's much more than a coach, like you said in Philly. It wasn't really all Brett Brown. That's why they didn't succeed. There's a lot of other factors. So you're right. That could have been a good filler, but I guess they really see something in Ty Lue. Maybe they. I don't know what he was saying in that interview. That pitch he had was really great because Steve Ballmer bought in. So I guess all that really mattered, though.
Yeah, no, I feel like I don't know. I feel like everything is being rushed. Man, like it kind of like feels like it's like panic mode in a sense because you panic, you just do things in like in a rush state, like instead of just taking your time. Like they have the whole off season to like pick a coach. You know what I mean? I know you want to pick a coach before like the draft, so he has like some sense. But isn't the draft like what next month?
Yeah.
So you have time to like do your research, this and that. I just feel like nothing against Ty Lue. I just feel he's been with Doc for many years. So like the philosophies can be like similar in a sense. He may have his little sense, but it's kind of like you get like a cut and you just put a band-aid on it and you hope it like kind of heals. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. I feel like they could have like done their research and look into some other guys. Like how many guys did he even interview? Like you could have definitely found someone that I felt could have just came in, changed the culture, and I think that's what they needed, something new. It's kind of like you just bringing in the same kind of vibe, maybe a little bit different, but it's the same thing, same at the end of the day. And I think like that team needs like a coach that kind of just like sets the tone and like kind of tells everybody their role. You know, this is what needs to be done, and nobody gets like a pass. Like I feel like they baby Kawhi and PG too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like nah, everyone on the team, if you can play, then play. There's no load management, none like that. Just because you're like a star, you just want to chip doesn't mean you're better than the next man. Like everyone's there to have a goal. The coach is supposed to set that straight. Like this is your role, you fulfill it. You do your role the best that you can. Just like if you listen to the Lakers this year, their whole thing was like everyone needs to be a star in their role. That was their whole attitude. And look, you saw all their players knew their role. They came in, did what they had to do. The Clippers, it was like the whole year they were trying to figure out their identity.
Mm-hmm.
And then when PG and Paul George were off, they looked clueless. Like they were just like, now what? Our stars off, and then they're just pointing fingers. You got people going to like strip clubs, all that, leaving the bubble, like acting like they don't want to play.
They want to think about basketball, man. They want to think about basketball.
They weren't as close of a team as the Lakers were, and it showed in the bubble. That's all.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's like when they came down, when they was down against the Nuggets, it's kind of like, all right, PG and Kawhi, like, carry us. And then PG, they were, George Paul fucking sold. And it was like, all right, Kawhi, like, carry us. And that's like, it's crazy, though. Like, the whole year, they were just, like, bullshitting, I feel. Like, it was lower management. Like, they're just going to turn on the playoffs. It's like, they skipped the whole process of, like, actually learning to play with each other. And just, like, things just going to switch. Like, it doesn't happen like that. And, like, I don't know. They definitely have to do that this year, though. Like, Kawhi can't afford to have the load management. He's not playing every other. He can't do that. He's going to have to legit suit up every night when he can and go out there and play.
All right. So I got a question. You think Kawhi is like a system type player? Like he just start in a system rather than like I say like Bron and AD, you could put them in a team and then like they're a star.
Yeah.
But like Kawhi, I think he needs like a system. Just the simple fact that he's not gonna get on guys. Like he's like, I'm just gonna do my job. If y'all don't play, then whatever. It's the coach's job. Like he don't get on like his teammates. That's why I say like when he's on Toronto and even the Spurs, like you had Greg Popovich, you had Nick Nurse. They were good coaches, and they had great players around him, like role players that can get done.
I feel like Kawhi. I don't think Kawhi is a system player because, like, the same like what you just said, like in San Antonio and Toronto, like he had great role players that knew their roles. You feel me? And that was the biggest problem with the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody kind of bought in and like did what they had to do, I feel like they would have did well because Kawhi played well though the whole season. Like Kawhi was chopping against the Nuggets. He did have a bad game 7 against second half. Like throughout the whole series though, he was that's when he went down balling. So like I feel like I'm not gonna say it's Kawhi. I feel like it's more like you said, it's also his personality. Kawhi's not a guy that's gonna like get in your face or like tell you what to do. He's kind of just he's gonna do him. So I feel like it's not a system, it's more his personality, and it's also like the players around him that has well, not just players around him. The whole organization didn't try to do as much to gel together. So I'm gonna say nah. I think Kawhi is dead as top 5 player in the league. Like he's nice. I don't think it's because of the system. I think he's nice.
Like, what do you define as a system player? Like, is a system player somebody who, when taking out that system, isn't as effective, or does a system player mean that player? I don't know. Like, what do you mean by a system player? Because that term, I feel like there's a lot of people who use it without really knowing what they mean by it.
I feel like pretty much like, okay, if Kawhi was on like a bum team,
Mm-hmm.
you think he gets them like over the top or over the hump, or does he need like other guys around him who like know their role? Because I feel like there's very few players in the league. Like I would say, KD, Bron, maybe I don't know. I say those two off rip. They can go to any team in the league and like present impact. I feel and like I don't know, get the guy to the player.
No, with Kawhi though, I kind of feel like I know what you're saying there. Like you can't plug in Kawhi anywhere. Like he's automatically gonna take you like to the chip. You feel me? He might not win there. He might not carry to the chip.
Like I love Kawhi. I feel like he's great. I don't know if he's like that man that can just change the organization around like instantly. I feel like he needs like pieces around him.
Yeah, I would say yeah, he does need pieces because he's not the type of guy like a LeBron or even somebody like a Luka. He's not he's not really a point guard facilitator. The biggest thing that they're talking about this year with Kawhi, just because his assist totals went up. Well, not assist totals, his averages went up for assists. They said he's becoming a better passer. He's always been a good passer, but on the Clippers now he had to facilitate more because obviously there was no true point guard in that team. So if you put Kawhi on a random team, he wouldn't have the same success as LeBron would because LeBron is essentially a point guard and he could really change how a team plays. Like LeBron is a system himself. You know what I'm saying? And somebody like Kawhi, he doesn't want to handle the ball that much. He had to this year, but after the season was over, what did he say? First thing, we need a point guard.
Like it's not his game though. Kawhi don't want to dribble the ball up the whole game.
Yeah.
Like he has this more energy though. You gotta dribble up the court. You gotta get the offense out. I gotta get my buckets. All right, then I gotta go defend on the other end. Like it was taking a lot of him out of him. So I feel why he did that. I said, no, I want a point guard. It's not my role. But shit, what point guard? How's the point guard market even looking for them though? Like who are they really even sign? Maybe they'll trade for somebody.
Bro, it beats me.
That's. I feel like they're gonna really. You think they're gonna try to run this back next year?
Honestly, I have a strong feeling that
He
PD.
should because, bro, I don't know, man.
I don't know what they fake gonna do, yo. Like I fake don't know what they gonna do. Cause like Trez the free agent. Trez gonna want some breach, right? Let's say you don't sign Trez, but you use that money towards. You're probably gonna bring. You have the same guys. You can have your Lou Wells and your Pat Bevs and your Shamit and you what Marcus Morris the free agent too. They're gonna resign Marcus. You just get a first round pick for him. So it's kind of like, what are they really gonna do though? Like, I don't know.
Moving on to the next topic. Let's bring it to the East Coast, fellas. What do you guys expect from Steve Nash as a head coach?
I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he really was a smart ass player when he was playing. He was a great ass point guard, so he knows the knowledge of the game. It's not like he's a bozo. I feel like he like studies the game as well. And I feel like he's also wasn't he also an assistant coach for the Golden State? I feel right. So he was a basketball.
He was something in basketball operations. He was like a consultant.
Okay. That's what I'm saying, and that's where he like built like the relationship with KD. So he kind of already has the vibe in him. But like I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because like at the end of the day they still have KD and Kyrie. So how bad can you really be? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're gonna be alright. I feel like they're gonna be good.
So now that you say how bad can they be, another new question that just popped into my head: what's the worst case scenario for the Nets next season?
Clipper. When we get to conference.
Don't get the conference.
I feel like that would be like, damn, y'all suck.
The worst case I say is the locker room, like the guys, it's egos. I feel on that team. If guys need to know their role, and I'm gonna keep stressing that because you got so many firepower in that team. You got Kyrie, KD, and you got Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert. Like those four guys, like you already know what KD's gonna do. Kyrie, he's gonna come and ball, but like those other two guys, like they've been there. So like I want to know how they're gonna like react when they take a back seat because they feel like they're the man too when they play. Every time they step on the floor, those guys can ball. So I'm like, I don't really get that from Karras, but Dinwiddie, I feel like that guy just wants to shoot all the time. He wants that. He's not afraid of. They're all not afraid at the moment, but him, like, he's like, nah, give me the ball. I'm trying to get this money.
All right, but I have a question then. Do you feel like when like next season when KD and Kyrie are playing and fully healthy, that he's automatically like he's really gonna know like, okay, I'm not the man. But you feel like he's gonna accept his role too. Like, okay, if I gotta be the third best player on this team or fourth best player on the team, I'm gonna be that. You feel like he might accept that role the same way he's probably accepting the role like I'm the guy on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like since Steve Nash is like a player coach, and he's been around Steve Kerr. Like Steve Kerr knew how to get his guys like calm. At least when I see with Steph and Clay. But Steve Nash is like a very like easygoing guy. So I think he would be like trying to put them in position where they can be effective because at the end of the day he was a point guard. So he knows everyone's position, where everyone needs to be on the floor. And KD came from a winning organization. So he finally learned how to win. So and Kyrie too. They both have a ring. So like I don't want it to be like so many voices because that's when it can cause trouble. Like the way Kyrie and KD made it seem like is that they said that we don't really have a coach. It's just opinions and voices.
Right.
But when you have too many voices and opinions, at sometimes it can get like, crazy and hectic. So
I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
I feel like the reason Kyrie said that in particular is because when they came into the league, Steve Nash was a player. So they see Steve Nash as more of than a superior. Well, they see him more as a peer than a superior. So I feel like that's where Kyrie was coming from when he said, we don't have necessarily a head coach. I feel like what he was trying to say was that we're all in this together. There's no one guy who's above the next.
Well, I feel like he's kind of maybe saying like it's an open relationship, maybe. Like it's gonna be open conversation flowing, but like but the way he said it though he shouldn't have said it like that though. The way he made it say like, we all gonna be the coach, and like he gotta know the media's gonna like eat that up. I feel like he put it as a way like, we're all gonna have open conversation. Like nobody's gonna be wrong here. Like we dad's gonna figure this shit out.
I feel like he knows what he wants to say, but sometimes he just doesn't articulate it right.
Right.
Like if it's like that, then they should be good money. Like as long as no one gets hurt. I think they even have they have a good team that like if one person gets hurt, I think the next man can fill the role.
I mean, it just depends on who gets hurt, because if like say Joe Harris is out for 4 weeks, you're losing a knockdown shooter, and there's a lot of plays that they're probably going to run that now that Joe Harris isn't there, they can't run those types of plays anymore. But I don't really know, because they have two shooters in KD and Kyrie, and I feel like they can make up for a lot with any loss to the roster, pretty much.
I do think that if they're healthy though, they should be. I think they're going to the finals out there and stuff.
I still think we need to add at least 1 or 2 more pieces there.
I don't think so. I think they're fine the way they are.
I'm with Orion. I feel like people keep on saying they need pieces. I feel like they're good. Like I personally think they're valid.
I feel like you said,
not a shooter one moment, but like overall, I feel like they're in a good position.
if they get hurt, I'm saying if someone gets hurt, it's like, I know Kyrie and KD are great. They can fill that void, but sometimes like it's good to have more than enough players. It doesn't hurt.
It's the way they're gonna round out the rest of their roster though, because like we can go down the roster. Like who's definitely gonna be in the roster next year? We already named 4, right? KD, Kyrie, Dinwiddie, and LeVert, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen. How many of that? That's 6, right? Joe Harris said they re-signed him. That's 7. There's some extra roster spots that they can fill out though, but like that's a solid 7 though.
Yeah, I mean, all they really need like is like 9 guys to make like a deep playoff run.
I feel like they definitely like benefit off of veteran presence though. Like how the Lakers had like a Jared Dudley. He might not play, but like a player of that stature, kind of like he's gonna be on the bench and just motivate guys and just.
We do have Jamal Crawford. I don't know if he's really gonna be on the team next year.
Word. Forgot about that. I dead forgot they even signed Jamal. Honestly.
They're supposed to have Michael Beasley, but oh man,
that's another one.
Shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I see them. Everything goes well. I don't see why they can't make finals.
They should beat the finals, bro. Because if you look at the East, during the bubble, the teams that looked like threats were. I'm gonna put Boston up there because they're gonna get better next season, just because of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. The Celtics are gonna go as far as those who take them. So you have the Celtics, the Heat. After that, who in the East scares you?
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty. Raptors are a solid team, but I wouldn't say they scare me though.
Well, they don't scare me because they don't have the star power.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they scare me though, but I think you're right though. It's just those top 2 that really put like.
I think both teams that you just mentioned are gonna get better.
Yeah.
I think Miami's gonna sign someone. I don't think they're done, but they're just gonna sit back.
I feel like I heard people saying like you kind of gotta watch Miami to see if Miami signs an extension, or he's gonna wait until next season to get him more flexibility, maybe get Giannis. I don't know. That's a team to watch though. I feel like Miami is gonna get better though, like you said. Like they haven't hit their peak at all, not even close to it. So
of course, because Tyler Hero's gonna obviously get better. Bam, that was just his 3rd year.
Jimmy's already working.
We got and Duncan Robinson too. They have a lot of young players who we've just seen what they can do now, but they have a lot of room to grow.
They're probably gonna re-sign Dragic for like 20 points per game score in the playoffs.
If everybody in the roster takes the next step, because they were good in this year, but think about it, just take another step forward. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
I do still think the Nets still should get out the East though, even with that.
I'm picking the Nets to get out the East.
Yeah, me too. I think people are trying to violate them a little too much. Like at the end of the day, with KD and Kyrie healthy, even 80%, they're going to finals.
That's another thing. This guy Max Kellerman, he keeps on bringing up KD's injury and saying he doesn't think he's going to come back as the same player. It's like Kevin Durant, that's like 80%, is basically at the same production level as what we've seen Jason Tatum last year. That's still really, really good, bro. And having that on top of the Nets team that's already there, plus Kyrie, is very scary.
I think it's going to be a movie next year.
What happened?
I think it's going to be a movie next year with them.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 2 players who could score from anywhere on the court, it's just going to cause problems for the other team. And I can't wait to see that. And another thing I wanted to talk about was, 1, when next season would start, and 2, how they would execute it. Because my whole thing is, since the social distancing and all that, I think they shouldn't fill the arenas to capacity. They should do whatever math, logistics to make sure that when the seating, like the tickets and the seating, like there's no like bunched up seats, like 1 seat and then there's like 3 spaces or 4 spaces and then the next seat.
That's kind of what the NFL is doing now.
I feel like they should do something like that to bring back the fans, because I miss the fans, man. Watching the football, I'm like, yo, I miss the fans.
It's a big factor that you don't even think about in a game that affects the game a lot for real.
So you think?
Yes.
You think
Even
that,
watching at home, bro. I was watching the Bills game. It's just like it's just
It was missing. The Bills Mafia was missing, bro.
it's
Whole
missing.
different vibe to the game.
all right, so you think like next season's gonna start when like
Maybe
January?
It's maybe MLK Day. That's what I saw.
yeah, that's what I heard too. But I don't know if it's. I hope it's gonna be MLK Day, but I don't know for sure.
So you think like teams should just they have to if you think about it because it's a full season. I was gonna say, do you think they should just play in their respective arenas, or they should like maybe pick like a couple cities and then play in those? You know what I mean?
I feel like it's too early to. I feel like it really depends on like the way this football season goes. Because like baseball went through the whole season with the 60 games of traveling like during the World Series. They only had like 2 outbreaks. You know what I'm saying? In football, they are traveling from city to city, and like players are gonna get COVID. Like it's about to happen, but like it's not really an outbreak. So if the NFL season can go fully through, I feel without much players getting it and it's successful, I feel like the NBA is gonna be like
Because
you can travel from city to city. Like you can do it travel.
by the time the NFL is almost done, NBA is gonna start back up.
Yeah.
It'll be playoffs, but I feel like the NFL would be. They would probably have their own bubble in a sense. I feel.
The also reason I feel like I'm saying that is because like MLK, well, that's January the season will start, right? So like they could have went through like if there is a second wave of COVID, like it goes up again in the fall and winter, to see how it's gonna affect the sports in the country. So like if it is smooth and like they're able to navigate around it, I feel like that's what it really is. I feel like they're dead ass just gonna kind of wait and see. But I don't know though. Whatever plan the NBA is gonna do is gonna be well thought out and well executed. So I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it's really a big question mark because there's a lot of unknowns that we're still waiting on the answers to. When it comes to the drafts, it's going to be a virtual draft, but then everybody's going to have a training camp. And then what's next after that? Like, we need answers pretty soon because we're seeing the NFL season go on right now. The MLB season is about to end, like you just mentioned. And we still don't have a lot of information on how the NBA is going to move forward because the bubble is a success, but you can't do the bubble with all 30 teams. Even though most of the league was in the bubble at the beginning, I don't see a full 30-team bubble happening. So
adding 8 more teams to that mix plus coaches and execs is a lot. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, they're not playing in league games.
Yeah.
This season.
I just want COVID to be gone and just go back to the regular, man. I miss the regular feel of sports.
Man. That's what I'm saying. Like this fall and winter is pretty big. Like for the world, but for sports too. Like the way that COVID is gonna happen, maybe these vaccines that come up, and it's really just wait and see because we truly don't know what's gonna happen. Like it's really just a waiting game.
Well, I have faith in Adam Silver because he came through with the bubble. It was a success. LeBron got his 4th ring. Everything went smooth. There was no outbreaks. There was no positive tests in the bubble. Nothing. The NBA was smooth sailing the whole time.
I'm saying I trust Adam Silver 100%. My son Def gonna get together with whoever he got to, the league, the players, and they're gonna think of something that's gonna benefit everybody, man. NBA is gonna be valid. It's gonna be good.
Let's transition to football, though. I might let you take it over, Rich. But before we do that, I just want to say my team came out Sunday with a W. I don't know if y'all could say the same.
Man, I don't want to talk about the Jets because we're here in the pocket. We gotta talk about good football here. We can't talk about the worst team in the league. But at this point, I'm with us going 0-16. We suck. Worst team in the league. Adam Gase is the worst coach in the league. We have top 5 worst owner in the league. Everything with the team sucks. Like, everything from top to bottom sucks, bro. But if you want to be the worst team in the league, be the worst at it. Get the first pick. Because if we can get Trevor Lawrence, shit. If we fuck him up, just burn the org, bro. Just get done. Just be done with them. But all jokes aside, though, I'm either want Trevor Lawrence or Sam Darnold. If we don't get the first pick, I don't want to draft the quarterback. I want Sam. But if we get the first pick, sorry, Sam, we gotta trick Trevor and we gotta trade you. But like, that's where I'm at this season, bro.
If you don't get the first pick, where do you go from there? Like, who do you draft then? Because you're gonna get like a top 3 pick.
Yeah, we're getting a top 3 pick confirmed, right, bro? So this is how I look at it. Trevor Lawrence is the clear-cut number 1 pick. Wherever team gets the first pick, he's going number 1. Team's either gonna take him or most likely trade the play. Most likely you're gonna trade him. Let me take him, right? To just get the second and third pick, that means that Sam Darnold played well enough for us not to get the first pick.
Yep.
There's no reason that if Sam's playing shitty, like he's been playing, the first month of the season, it's not just him, the whole team. We're the worst team in the league. But if we happen to get the second or third pick, that means Sam is not. He's shown something to get us some W's with this terrible team. So that's what he's telling me something. And I feel like then you can either go like receiver, because this is a great receiver class. You might want to get Jamar Chase at LSU or something, or like you might want to get a right tackle at Oregon because you already hit on your left tackle. So it's like there's different ways you can go. But I feel like that's just me talking as a fan. But at the end of the day, there's gonna be a new coach that comes in, and Joe Douglas and the coach are gonna have to sit down and be like, do we want to build around Sam and have to pay him soon, or like do you want to take a quarterback here and develop him and just start all over? So it's really like these next. Sam's probably not playing on Sunday. So maybe the next 10-9 games that he plays, it's really going to tell a lot for the Jets, for him, for his trade market, for the teams looking around, because everybody's going to be looking at Sam. So there's a lot that's on the balance for the future with this team for the next 10 weeks. So I don't know, bro. There's a lot of different ways that this team can go. They suck, though. They really fucking suck. But enough talking about. Well, we can talk about them actually. See how Le'Veon was not really used well in New York. Ended up getting cut. Could have, trade him anywhere. And then now he's on the Chiefs. So what do y'all think about Le'Veon signing with the Chiefs, bro?
I feel like we've seen this story before with explosive players that don't pan out where they sign or where they got traded to. Then they go somewhere else, and then there's a lot of hype. But it's like we just got to see what happens, because tonight they just had the most rushing yards under Andy Reid with 241 plus. So adding another back to that group, there's a lot of potential there, but you never know how it's gonna work. So if I was a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't get my hopes up until I see consistent production like Pittsburgh Le'Veon. If I'm not seeing that, then there was really no point in me getting Le'Veon. So you got to see what he's gonna give you.
What about you, Monty? How you feel about that?
Like for the Chiefs,
The Chiefs getting a lead.
not really like a high risk. It's pretty much like we're bringing in a guy who has proven himself in the league. But he has like a couple down years. So like if he excels and when we implement him into the offense, then it's a win for us. If he doesn't, our team has been winning already. It's like it's no love lost. But I feel like with him, I just have to wait and see like how, like Ryan said, like how he's gonna fit. And I don't even think he has to be like Steelers Le'Veon. I just think he needs to like, be productive in the passing game or when he gets his opportunities. Because they have a nice running back right now. So if Le'Veon starts to play well, and they have him, that's a nice 1-2 punch. Then you got your receivers, your tight end. You already got Patty Mahomes, so he can make something out of nothing. You know what I mean?
When I feel like things are like ever since Le'Veon signed with New York, like Adam Gase is really throwing shots at the media, like he didn't even want to sign him. Like he went through this last season without really using Le'Veon
Mhm.
in the game, in like the pass game, run game. He's subbing him out a lot, and he did the same thing again this year. So like, and Le'Veon dropped about I think 10 to 15 pounds. He's quicker and faster, but like again, he didn't do nothing. So I feel like Le'Veon, he's gonna be productive. If he's gonna be anywhere productive, it's gonna be in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and with Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid's gonna put him in positions to succeed. And I feel like also they signed him because I saw a stat like the last 3 to 4 games before today, obviously. Clyde Edwards-Helaire he wasn't really running the ball well, like in between the tackles. I think it was below 40 yards for a few games in a row. So like Le'Veon's gonna help with, the short distance, the goal lines, the 5 yards. Definitely need to punch it in. But I think overall he's gonna be solid though. Like they're gonna find places for him. There's not gonna be as many people in the box, because they have all these weapons right there. They have Patrick Mahomes. So like I think we're gonna see a better product. But I'm so interested to see Lave because a lot of people in the media and like executives and scouts are like watching the film and they're saying Le'Veon's not the same player that he was in Pittsburgh and Le'Veon's washed. And kind of interested to see how he's gonna play in Kansas City because like this is the perfect matchup for him. This is the perfect place to fall.
I never really believe in that. Like the media says that, I know they have to talk about something, but when they talk about a player and they say that he doesn't have anymore or this and that, like you can't talk about something that we haven't even seen yet. Like I think we would have to wait and see what he does. I think him leaving New York is like a relief, and now he's in a new system where he can finally like take a breath and like, okay, this is a winning culture. Like, I need to start, playing my game again. Like, bring back the old Le'Veon. Like, I trust coach. I trust my teammates. Like, this team already has won already, so they already know how to win. If I just buy in, then I'll be in good position. I think the way he is right now, I think he just wants to win.
That's what he's saying in New York. Like
when you constantly losing, you just like at the point where you just want to win. So I think he'll buy in.
No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. But segue off that, there's a lot of good teams in the league. You got the Steelers undefeated. You got the Titans undefeated. You got the Seahawks undefeated. You got the Bills who are surprising people, even though they lost today. I think they're 4-2. You got the Chiefs who are 5-1. You got the Bucks who are 4-2. There's a lot of good football happening. So like, what would you say was your biggest surprise of undefeated teams or top teams in the league?
I would probably say Pittsburgh, just because besides Juju, they just drafted Chase Claypool. I think that's his name. He's been hitting.
6'4".
He's nice. I didn't know anything about him until week 1 when he played against the Giants. He's been pretty consistent from everything I've been seeing so far. And their defense is just wow.
I was telling people in the beginning of the year, man, that defense is lights out. I think they're the only team in the league who's gotten a sack or multiple sacks and a pick in every game this year or something like that. Like that defense is the real deal, bro. For real.
I'd say them too, just on the fact that I didn't see that really coming. I kind of thought it was just like the Ravens division, and
I felt that same way, bro.
And I felt like the Browns, getting a new coach, because I heard a lot of good things about the coach. He has put them in his position to win besides 2 games, but that's different reasons too. I felt like the Browns would take a next step and the Steelers would still be competitive, but I didn't think they were going to be like a contender. You know what I mean? Like now they're really a legit contender. I can see them like upsetting someone in the playoffs if they continue to play like how they're playing.
Speaking of the Browns, after what I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't watch the game, but I saw that Baker Mayfield wasn't playing well.
That's all right.
Bro,
If we make the playoffs this season, do you think it's it for Baker in Cleveland?
this is what I think it is, bro. 'Cause this is Baker's third coach. They're having the same problems, bro. You can't tell me it's the coaches now. You can't tell me it's the players around you either, because you have 2 top receivers. You have a great running back. You have a good line. You have a great coaching staff. So I feel like after this year, they have to make a decision if they're going to pick up that 5th-year option. I don't think they're going to pick up the 5th-year option. It's like next year's going to be, Baker's 4th year. And after that, they might just be done with him, bro. Because at the end of the day, the Browns are that good of a team. If they have better quarterback play, it instantly upgrades them, bro. Instantly. Like Baker is, I think Baker is a problem. Baker has reached his ceiling. Like he's not going to get much better than what he is. He's not. He just is what he is, bro. And even games that they won this year, they're winning in spite of Baker. Like it's not like because Baker is playing fantastic. It's just like whatever. Like we're winning, we're not winning because of you, bro. But you're just there. You're just doing whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Baker's really gonna be done in Cleveland, bro.
Some of his, like 10 toes that he threw were just like,
oh my god.
like a pro should not throw those type of balls.
And it's the same type of mistakes he's making, bro. Like it's just you can't blame Odell.
Honestly,
Like
this is what I would like to see. I think if somehow Sam could get there and get Baker out, because I think Sam would do a good job
bro.
with offense. And they have a great defense.
I'm a Sam believer. I believe even if Sam doesn't work out in New York, wherever he go, I'm rooting for him, and I think he's gonna be a good quarterback in this league, though. And it's funny how you said the Browns. I never really thought about them trading for Baker. I was thinking of maybe like the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Because Ben's older, they might want to give a first-round pick for Sam. Sam could just back up Ben next year, maybe in the year after. You can take over. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe New Orleans. That's funny. I never really thought about the Browns. Let's fake a good one, though. I do think Sam he'll be playing better than what Baker is doing.
Yeah. I would just get first pick. I'm trading him to the Browns or something.
If I'm the Jets pick and I get I'm the first pick, I'm taking Trevor. I feel like a team would give a first round pick for him. It might be a team that's already good, like a New Orleans, or like a Pittsburgh, or like a San Fran. Already have established culture, established system, and plug in Sam that he can play. You know what I'm saying? But the Browns really, I don't know. We got to see how the end of the season go, how Baker plays, because that really can potentially be an option if the Jets get the
number one. Because if he goes to the Browns, he has a good defense. The running game is good. You got receivers. Tight ends are good, in my opinion. Like, he got a system, and the coaches are good too, right? Isn't he like an offensive minded coach or something?
He's drawing up some real sauce. He's putting Baker, that's what I'm saying. He's putting Baker in a perfect place to succeed. After the game, he was taking on the blame, saying, I got to be better. I got to drop some better plays. Like, not the coaching guy this time. I think they got a good foundation. But, like, even if Sam gets there, I do got to say, though, Sam has to get better. Like, he has to develop more, though. Like, from what he's shown this year, he hasn't gotten better. Like, at all. Him and Josh Allen have been training the whole quarantine together in California with Jordan Palmer. And it's like, you see the results of Josh Allen. You see what he's doing. It's not just him, but it's the coaching staff. But, like, he's working hard. You see he got better. But Sam has been doing, like, some things that he's been doing since his rookie year. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't throw that. You got to go through your read. So, like, he got to get better. But if you can get better, but it's also coaching shit. So it's a lot of scenarios, but Sam himself has to get better and play better for people to really see that full potential, bro. That I think is really there. Like 100% think is there. But we talk about them Titans though. Titans are 5-0. Like Tannehill's looking like the real deal. Like, what's your opinions on Tennessee so far?
Well, I haven't really been tuning in, but for them to be a surprise team last season, sneaking into the playoffs and upsetting Baltimore, and the fact that they built off that this season and they're carrying it to this season it shows that their team as a whole is just improves. Like their culture, they have a culture now. You could see it, and their defense is pretty solid. Their run game is still what it was last year with Derrick Henry. And until somebody could hold on, who's in their division?
And the Colts, the Texans, and the Jaguars. So they're gonna win that division.
Yeah, they're chilling in that division. That's smooth sailing, bro.
What you think, Monty? What you think about Tennessee, man?
Nah, I'm impressed because of the simple fact that just jumping off what Ryan said, that they just carry that same energy from last year and kind of like added on to that this year. And like even with the COVID stuff happening where they had break, time off, they still came out and won a game. Like that's still hard to do in the NFL. Like no time for practice or limited time in practice, having to prepare for any team is still tough. So them to just stay solid and continue to, do what they do in the run game, and even Tannehill continuing his play, like, I think they still are on their way, like, to hit playoffs. But it'll get real interesting because a lot of teams that in the AFC that we didn't really see coming have gotten better. So, like I said, Steelers, Titans, they can be teams that can potentially upset someone like how they did last year. So I think that's only if they continue to play the way they have been playing, but I think they will. They haven't really given me a reason to like kind of doubt them.
Yeah.
And that running game, it's like unstoppable if Derrick Henry just continues to run like that. Like it opens everything up for Tannehill.
One thing I will say though, like I kind of thought Tannehill was just like, he was doing that last year. He's not gonna do that again. But like Tannehill really is playing really, really well. I saw a stat when I was watching the Herd earlier. Ever since he took over as starting quarterback, he had like 40 TDs. He's like number one in the NFL. Like he's like 17-3 in his last 20 starts. Like he's really playing extremely well. And like Ryan said, that culture that they got over there with Mike Vrabel just turned up. Arthur Smith as the OC is like drawing up some sauce. They can really. I never thought I'd say this, but Tennessee can really be a Super Bowl contender this year if they really continue to build up what they're doing. But so I'm saying them in Pittsburgh, people kind of like counted them out, like they're not going to be legit, and they're damn near one of the best teams in the league. But what would y'all be? What would be top three for MVP if you had to pick one, or like top three players that really like are standing out, balling out this year? Like you have like Tannehill that's been balling, then you got Russell Wilson who's been balling, you got Josh Allen who's been balling,
I got Russ.
Mahomes doing what he got to do. You got Russ. What about you? If you had to pick early, who got the edge in the race? Who would you say?
Yeah, that's a tough one because obviously you could go with Russ. You could be generic and go with Mahomes. But I gotta look into it more. I can't give him an answer right now because the MVP it get like I don't know because I would say I wait to playoffs, but it's a regular season award.
Yeah, this is rock with Monty though. Russ, like he was in the vote. He was in the running last year, and then Lamar kind of just took off and just took over. But Russ, they're 5-0, and it's because of Russell Wilson, like 100% because of that man. Like no way around it. That secondary is really not that good. They're giving up the most passing yards in the league. You're like bottom half of the league at that. If I had to give an early like vote to, it would definitely be Russell Wilson though. He's going too crazy.
The player that jumped this year too was his receiver, DK.
Yeah, definitely.
He's definitely like a top receiver. Like, no question anymore.
My DK definitely has taken that next step to being that man. And it's crazy because he fell to the second round. And Seattle scooped him up. And look at him.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot, bro. There's always receivers with a lot of potential, But if they don't go to the right situation, they just fizzle out of the league, bro. Like it's sad to say, but it really depends on where you're drafted if you're gonna have a career in the NFL or not.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, that culture is really a big thing. It's a big thing, man. Like
When shit doesn't pan out, they're gonna just blame it on you.
overall, it's been a good. I think it's been a really good football season so far, man. Hopefully we can finish the season out with Rona. We've been seeing some good football, so I kind of want to see if NFL's can like even help preseason next year, like reduce it. What happened?
Who's playing Thursday?
I'm not even sure. Let me check that out real quick. Actually,
Hopefully no one of these catches any more severe cases, like where they.
what'd you say, Money?
I said hopefully they don't like teams don't get cases where they have to like postpone games anymore. Because I've been waiting for like 2 weeks to just see my team and drop an L.
I think it's the Giants and the Eagles, right? Your boys, the G-Man up next.
The Giants will win on Thursday.
You think they're gonna beat
Nah, bro. Calling it now.
At least 1-4-1, bro. Jesus Christ, bro.
Bro, I told you guys a long time ago. The NFC East is just like it's not what you think it is. Like this is not nice over there, bro.
Cowboys are losing right now too.
Right?
Crazy, it's crazy. Because I went into college a year after LSU played them.
How you feel about that, like, the situation?
That's tough to me. That's tough for me because I feel like Dak earned a contract. You know what I'm saying? He was asking for $40 million, and this is like he isn't worth the $40 million. So I can see why the Cowboys didn't want to pay for him, pay him yet. I say, but it's just tough because he deadass has fractured his whole ankle. It's like he's out for the year, and they're probably not going to pay him next year. He's probably going to get franchise tagged again next year to prove that he can play. So it's kind of a shitty situation when a guy deserves his bread, and he's proven that he deserves his bread. But like, it's also a business. So I can then see the Cowboys' point of view on this whole situation. But I don't know, man. I feel like it's a tough situation for both sides. I feel like it might benefit the Cowboys. I don't even know, maybe financially a little bit more, but like not really because they franchise him next year. It's probably going to be a high number anyways. So you could have been signed him. But I don't know. It's a tough situation for both sides.
I wasn't looking into that situation that much. Not his injury, but the contract bidding, because it's not my team. But whatever they offered him before, what I was thinking when he was requesting 40 mils, like you haven't done enough in the league to get a $40 million contract because you haven't even had a deep playoff run. So why do you think you deserve $40 million? Know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
People deserve the contract though. It might, like I'm saying, that $40 million, it's a high number because that means you're getting paid as one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. But like that's the game though. But that's also the Cowboys' fault because they could have paid him around the time that Carson Wentz got paid, and he got 32 M's. But they didn't want to pay; they wanted to wait. And when you wait, the market's only going to go up, and the quarterback market's only going to go up. It's going to be the highest market because it's the most important position. So like, the Cowboys are in a position because of themselves. Maybe they didn't believe in Dak as much in the beginning, and that's gotten better every year. But if they paid him 2 years ago or a year ago, they wouldn't be in this position now. So that's kind of their fault. Like injuries happen, so that could be their fault. Now you might have to suck it up and sign that check for $40 million, or if not, you have to get a new QB, and that's tough because Dak is a high-end starting quarterback. So like, what are you gonna do? Slippery slope. It's a really slippery slope.
I wonder how
man. I don't like the Cowboys.
What do you think, Manny?
I wonder how he'll come back and like feel. You know what I mean? Like how that situation is gonna pan out because let's say he does come back and he's playing well. Mm-hmm. Do they pay him or they still wait? You know, because they didn't pay him now like before, and now he's balling. Like,
I feel like it's something. There's a rule though, like especially when you're on a franchise tag, you can only agree to a deal before the season, before a deadline. And when that deadline passes, you can't negotiate anymore until after the year. So there's no like if you sign a franchise tag, there's no way you're gonna sign during the season. Like it's just not a rule. So that's why the Cowboys have to make a decision. You either sign Dak in the offseason, off this injury, and just trust him 100%, he's gonna be fine, or you roll the dice, you pay him $37 million or whatever the cap hit is next year, and have maybe see what he does and then pay him next year. So I don't know, man. Cowboys in a tough position. It's not looking good for them right now because Zeke just fumbled again, second of the game. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for them.
Man, the Cowboys was always in a tough position ever since like 2000.
It's like a cycle. The Cowboys are a good team though. They really are talented. Like, but I don't know, man. Zeke, that's your second fumble of the game already.
Who's the quarterback right now?
Huh?
Who's the quarterback?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, bro. But
because like that division, like Orion was saying, like not what you think, and it's really sad because like they don't even have to play that well, and they still could be in a position.
everybody's ass in that division, bro. That joint is so crazy. Like the Eagles are just completely hurt. The Cowboys just lost to starting quarterback, but damn, niggas is really bad. That joint is crazy, but
I think they cancel each other out too.
yeah, bro. Overall, NFL's in good hands, man. I feel like it's gonna be. Hopefully, we can finish out the season though. If we do, there's some great football for real.
Yo, Rich, I'm about to start scouting now, bro. I'm about to make my big board.
Bro, you really see what I'm doing. Jet season's done, bro. I'm just watching football as a fan, but I'm scouting already, bro. I'm looking down the line to April already. I'm already over it, bro.
All right, so since you're doing that, right? Like, what's your like? What would make you like happy as a fan for the Jets? When I'm not gonna ask Ryan too, like for the Giants. This, when the time comes, like, what do you do? Like, how do you get through the season? What do you want to see happen for next? I know it's sad to say that because we're still in the beginning of the season, but
The Jets are in a worse position than the Giants, though, because at least the Giants, they suck, but they're getting better every week. Though. They're losing, but they're still competitive. You know what I'm saying? So Joe Judge got them playing hard. He got them prepared, right? They're probably gonna find the GM after this year and get Gettleman out of here and bring somebody else in. But I feel like the Giants are in a good position, though. You know what I'm saying? The Jets, on the other hand, are like legit the worst in the league, like from top to bottom. Gase got to go. Greg Williams got to go. Half this roster got to go. So with the Jets, a realistic thing is like, I just hope that they hire the right coach this time, because 2 years ago, like when the Jets job was opened, it was one of the best openings out there because they had Jamal, they had Sam. He had all this cast, but he had a lot of optimism. Now it's kind of like you don't have any of the optimism at all. It's like it kind of depends on the hire. Number one, I want them to hire a coach that people actually will like, who's actually successful, not a guy like Adam Gase, and you hire him because Peyton Manning called you and he said he's a great coach, and then you hired him. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be the fucking thought. I just hope Joe Douglas has the freedom to pick his coach, and not the owner doesn't have too much of an input on it. And if the Jets just get that number one pick, take Trevor, and just don't do to Trevor what you did to Sam. Give him players to play around so you can actually see if he's doing something. Don't have no bump O-line around him. Give him some receivers. Give him some players so you can actually evaluate him. But the Jets are probably not going to be good until I can't even tell you. They're definitely not going to be good next year. Especially if they have Trevor. It's going to be a whole rebuild and a new quarterback and a new system. So you have to give them some time. So maybe 2022, they might start being competitive. If they draft well, if they hire the right coach, if they can get anybody to even sign with this team in the offseason. I don't know, bro. But I would just say hire an offensive-minded coach and a good coach, and then build around your young quarterback, either if it's Sam or Trevor. That's all you can really ask for as a fan. Like, give your fans some hope. something that I can look forward to. The Jets don't do that at all. It's just fucking pain every Sunday, bro. It's just pain, bro.
But for me, bro, what will make me happy is the Giants revert back to an elite defense again, because that was the calling card for all the championship runs. Every single ring, there's great defensive players tied to that team. So what I want is just an indestructible defense that doesn't give up a lot of points, makes the game long and grueling. You know, I want the Giants defense, the Giants to be a team that other teams dread to play because of the defense. Like, damn, we don't want to go up against these guys. I want that fear brought back. It's not there now, but that'll make me happy. Like, just building the team to the point where everywhere you look, there's a threat on the defensive end, because the defense will bring you to where you need to be in the NFL.
Mhm.
I would suggest just their offense. I wish I get some receivers that are practice squad guys, fourth stringers, and they wouldn't have a 37-year-old running back getting the ball 17 times a game. Maybe the Jets are keeping Adam Gase so they can go 1-16. That's all I have to believe.
Bro, that's what I was telling you. I'm like, yo, why don't you just fire Adam Gase now?
That makes sense, because every week, fellas, it gets worse and worse and worse.
No, bro, because what the point I think Ron brought up was that if y'all do fire Gase, you're gonna have to get an interim coach who's probably gonna be the assistant or something like that, or a coordinator.
Bro, if I'm the Jets, bro, I'm firing Adam Gase. I'm frying the OC and I'm frying Greg Williams all mid-season. I'm upgrading the running backs coach to the OC and defensive back coach to the head coach, and let's just go, bro, because everybody in this organization gotta go, bro, from top to bottom, bro. It's legit. Come on, make the tear it all down again and start it again. Maybe they'll be good by the time I'm in my 30s or something. You know, maybe. Just maybe it'll be good.
Hope, man.
Can only hope, Alex. We can only hope.
Just hope for the best. I hope the best for New York football, because for the past 7 years, bro, it's been nothing. There's no type of victory for New York.
No juice, bro.
We need that. We need New York teams to just, as a whole, they need to have their own meeting, come together, and just be like, "Yo, we all suck. We need to change this." But a lot of the owners don't really care, because New York is one of those cities that bring in a lot of capital and money. So
They get money regardless.
we can suck regardless. We're still gonna bring in money. We need to change that mindset.
Yeah.
I don't know how that mindset's gonna change, Armani, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And those owners are looking at the revenue and the net and all that, and they're saying the numbers are not lying right now. That's all they're thinking about. So
I don't know though, from a lot of podcasts that I listen to, a lot of Jets podcasts, they're just telling fans with this team, to make them really feel this, to make the owners feel their pockets. So buy no Jets merch. Unfollow them on social media. Don't buy no jerseys, nothing affiliated with the team. Completely boycott the team until they do something right. And I felt that, bro. I truly felt that, man. And it's the Jets are lucky though, because that there are no fans. That COVID's a thing. Because Adam Gase might be getting booed OD right now. I also believe that people wouldn't really be coming to the games, bro. They would feel it in ticket sales. Who would want to go watch a team like that? Who's really going to pay real money to go sit there and go watch the Jets play with no Sam, no Jamal, no Becton, no Le'Veon? Why are you going there to watch that team? I think that's what they're feeling, but they're not feeling it as much because they're already losing that revenue anyways, because there's no fans. So That's another thing that's kind of annoying because Adam Gase deserves to get booed the whole Sunday for 3 hours straight, so he can really feel it, so the owner can hear it. But
I wish it was real like that because even when the teams were bad, like the worst team in the NFL a couple of years ago, you probably look at one of their games, their home games, there's still a good amount of fans there. I wish fans really like that. Like if our team is the worst team, we're not coming to any games. So they really feel the pressure. Like the owners feel the pressure. Because bro, the owners are not gonna feel any type of pressure until they see something that really hurts their soul.
pockets,
That
them pockets hurt them.
but I don't know, man. Boycotting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it might be the way to go with these Jets, man. It really might be the way to go.
But I don't know if that would happen. You know what I mean? Just because fans love their football. You know what I mean? And you know, they were talking about boycotting the season. Fans wasn't having that. But I know it's different for the Jets' sake because the Jets are not even competitive. Like they can't even score a touchdown, let alone get in the red zone. So it's like I don't know. Like how do you?
I think they have no selling points, bro. Like they have nothing positive for that word, bro. It's really it's so sad. It's so sad, bro. It's so sad, bro. Like, this is really real life, man.
How do you like? I don't know. Sit there and like every Sunday.
I try to find a bright spot on it. The only bright spots that I had was, Mekhi Becton was playing really well, our first round pick, but he's hurt. So, that's gone. I watched for Sam. He's hurt. That's gone. I was like, you just try to find the bright spots. I just kind of look at the guys that I know would be here next year. It's kind of tough because, like, this whole draft class is hurt. Like, I see all these rookie receivers. Like, we talk about Claypool, right? He's been balling. He's a rookie receiver. All these rookies around the league balling, but then the one guy we draft is hurt and he can't get on the field. We drafted a rookie running back, and Frank Gore's 37 is getting most of the carries. It's like, why do these things have to happen when we already suck? I want to see the young guys who might be in the team next year. I can't watch that. So, like, when I mean that there's nothing for me to watch on Sundays with Adam Gase, like, there's truly nothing for me to watch. Like, the last 2 weeks, I probably watched a few quarters, not even the whole game, just turning it off. Like, I can't watch this. This is so bad. This hurts my eyes. My eyes hurt from watching this. This is not good football. Like, there ain't much bright spots to talk about, bruh. One bright spot I can talk about, bruh, is going 0-16 and maybe getting Trevor Lawrence. So I can hope for, bro. That's it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We get there, fellas.
So that being said, man, that's another episode in the books.
Yes, sir.
Like, comment, subscribe, Around the Cut on Twitter, YouTube, all of that.
Follow my Jets Twitter page, Top NY Jets Talk. Tune in, give it a follow. Catch y'all next time.
Good episode, man. Good talk.